Lois Griffin should statistically be serving at least 3 life sentences, and that's if the judge is in a generous mood.
I was a little naughty. I may have dipped into the tax surplus.
Wait a minute, you use taxpayer money to buy yourself a handbag?
In most sitcoms, the mom is the sane one, the moral compass, the glue holding everything together. In Family Guy, Lois pretends to be that mom, until you zoom in and realize she's a walking crime spree in a green shirt.
Valley. Says no.
Murder confessions, drug manufacturing, theft, corruption, kidnapping. If any of this happened in real life, Lois wouldn't be folding laundry in Quahog. She'd be taking commissary requests behind bars. So today, we're going through all the times Lois Griffin's actions absolutely, undeniably, 100% warranted prison time. Let's start with the one you probably forgot even happened. Lois, casually admitting to murder like she's talking about what she had for lunch. In the episode where Peter and Lois try to crush Chris's belief in Arthur Valentine, they stage a fake accident where this made-up character gets run over. It's already messed up. They traumatize their own son just to teach him a lesson.
Arthur, he's dead!
Chris thinks Arthur gets Matthew Broderick right in front of him and spirals into a catatonic state. While comforting him, Lois tries to bond by dropping this little nugget. She once killed a jaywalker, not hit someone and called 911, not tragic accident. She flat out says she killed a guy who was jaywalking with the same energy you use when you say, "I once stole a candy bar."
Every mother has killed someone.
The way she just blurts it out implies that for Lois, killing someone isn't even top 5 on her list of regrets. That alone is an entire prison arc. But wait, vehicular crimes are kind of a thing with Lois. Fast forward to her midlife crisis era. Instead of buying a normal crisis motorcycle or getting a questionable haircut, Lois transforms herself into a full-time, I still go to clubs on weeknights person. Peter roasts her at her surprise birthday party, calls her his reliable old plow horse.
You may not be the young filly you were when I met you, but you're still my reliable old plow horse.
And something in her brain just snaps. She starts dressing like it's perpetually 3 a.m. at a Miami club and dragging Peter along for the ride. At first, it's just chaotic fun, until they run over a homeless man and then burn his corpse. Not call an ambulance.
Lois, what's going on?
Not even panic properly. They hit a human being with a car and decide the solution is to cremate the evidence. That's not a traffic accident. That's at minimum vehicular manslaughter plus destruction of a corpse, plus obstruction, plus probably every moral code known to man. And then there's the time Lois straight up became a meth dealer. Not metaphorically, not addicted to caffeine, full Breaking Bad. After Quahog gets from a tornado in a storm cellar, they stumble on a fully built meth lab. Most people would see that and call the cops. Lois sees it, and after some flimsy rationalization decides this is a totally valid side hustle. Peter suggests they start cooking meth to pay the bills. And after like 2 seconds of fake hesitation, Lois agrees. As long as it's making us money, what's the harm? Is basically her logic. They become full meth kingpins.
I can't believe we're actually gonna do this.
Yeah, you go in first, and I'll go in a minute.
Lois oversees the operation with Peter, and even Brian is stunned by how deep they go. Only after seeing the destruction their product causes in Quahog does Lois suddenly grow a conscience and try to shut it down. Too late.
We're hurting our own hometown. All those drugs that are flooding into Quahog are from us.
This is running a drug operation, distribution, conspiracy, money laundering, the kind of stuff that gets you 30 years minimum. The only reason she isn't in an orange jumpsuit is because in Quahog, meth empires apparently just end when you decide you're done. But if Lois can't be a meth cook, what about a lighter crime, like shoplifting? That's where her kleptomania kicks in. In an early episode, she's a little short on cash at the grocery store and decides to borrow a ham. She acts like it's no big deal, but that one ham becomes her gateway drug. She starts shoplifting more. Clothes, trinkets, basically anything that isn't nailed down. Before long, she upgrades from basic items to high-end stuff. Fine art, car parts, totally unnecessary things that cost real money. She's not doing it out of need anymore, she's doing it for the rush. Eventually, her crime spree catches up to her. She gets arrested by her own neighbor, Joe Swanson, who has been a cop this entire time watching his friend's wife spiral into a one-woman theft ring.
Sorry, Lois, regulations. I can't give you any special treatment.
It's okay, Joe. I understand.
Shut up, maggot!
Rhode Island, even basic shoplifting can get you jail time. Lois gets sentenced to multiple years after extensions. She could have done her time and learned something. Instead, Peter completely melts down trying to run the house without her and decides to break her out of jail. Lois doesn't fight it. The Griffins go on the run as a bizarre, family-friendly Bonnie and Clyde knockoff. They flee to Asian Town, go into hiding, and only after their lives are completely destroyed does Lois surrender herself. All this because she couldn't pay for a ham. From one angle, it's dumb comedy. From another, it's escape from custody, aiding and abetting, and a whole list of charges that would add up fast. Speaking of abusing power, there's also Mayor Lois, the era where she goes from concerned citizen to corrupt politician in record time. After the Griffin family discovers their local lake is full of toxic waste, Lois decides she's had enough and runs for mayor. On paper, it's noble. The town is polluted, the water's disgusting, and she wants to clean it up.
Try giving short, simple answers.
Mrs. Griffin, what do you plan to do about crime in our city?
She wins, raises funds, and promises to restore the lake. Then the money shows up. And Lois decides taxpayer funds would look better as handbags and luxury items. She starts dipping into the surplus to buy herself designer stuff. Then it gets worse. An oil company offers her a fur coat in exchange for letting them dump more waste into the lake. Lois knows it's wrong. She knows it hurts the environment. But the coat is awesome, so she takes the bribe and opens the pipes back up. She literally sells out her voters and the ecosystem for fashion. She does eventually realize how far off the rails she's gone, but only after the damage is done. In reality, that's corruption, embezzlement, environmental crime, and bribery. Lois is every cartoon of a crooked politician rolled into one red-headed disaster. You'd think her worst mom crimes stop at corruption and indirect harm. They don't. There's an episode where Stewie gets badly injured, like horrifying head wound injured. Meg and Chris are supposed to be watching him, but this is the Griffin household, so obviously something goes wrong. Stewie ends up with a massive, gnarly injury that becomes impossible to ignore. The normal reaction would be, rush him to the hospital, get medical help, document the accident. Instead, Peter tries to cover it up by throwing Stewie under Lois's car while she's backing up so it looks like she caused the injury. That alone is insane. When Lois finds out, she doesn't freak out in the way a sane parent would. She's shocked, but then she gets on board with the cover-up. Rather than just taking Stewie to a doctor and telling the truth, she agrees to hide the injury. They throw a hat on it, use makeup to disguise things, and even try to pin the blame on someone else. They turn a household accident into a staged hit and run.
Oh my God! Stewie! Oh God, what have I done?
Looks like you ran over him, Lois.
Oh no! He's unconscious. Peter, we have to cover this up.
Yeah, but what?
Let's put a hat on him to cover the wound, and then let's get some makeup and draw eyeballs on his eyelids and find a way to pin this on someone else.
I love you so much right now. Let's go to the hospital.
This is the kind of thing that would get Child Protective Services involved instantly. In the real world, that's child endangerment, failure to seek medical care, and active participation in a cover-up. Lois might be the better parent compared to Peter, but that's like being the least drunk driver in a crash. What follows is a full-scale holiday meltdown through Quahog. She storms through town destroying decorations, screaming at people, and even violently attacking Frosty the Snowman in front of kids. She goes from slightly stressed mom to rampaging menace in seconds. She climbs the town Christmas tree like a kaiju in a Santa hat, screaming and flailing. The police have to tranquilize her from below like they're taking down a wild animal. While this is played for laughs, in reality this is assault, public disturbance, destruction of property, and probably enough charges to spend Christmas in a padded room, not a living room.
Merry Christmas.
Easy easy, lady. You want some of this?
Then there's the coffee shop incident, also known as Lois's Customer of the Week villain arc. She becomes obsessed with winning a meaningless local award at her favorite coffee place.
This week's Customer of the Week is Lester!
When she doesn't get it, her jealousy kicks into overdrive. First, she tries to bribe her way to the title by dropping hundreds of dollars on terrible artwork, basically paying the baristas to notice her. When that fails, she escalates in a way only Lois can. She uses a barista's peanut allergy to cause a staged incident that she can heroically resolve. That means she intentionally puts someone's life at risk, just to fake being a savior. That's already diabolical. But she's not done.
What?
Put the phone down, Kyle H.
When one of the barista's co-workers figures out what she's doing, Lois chooses the logical next step: kidnapping. She kidnaps him and his roommates to keep them from exposing her scheme. At this point, we're beyond sitcom logic. This is calculated, premeditated, and violent. In the real world, weaponizing someone's medical condition, causing a car crash, and then kidnapping witnesses would put you on the news. Not in line for a latte. When you start tallying this up, Lois's theoretical sentencing becomes ridiculous. Murder confession over a jaywalker? Years to decades. Vehicular homicide and corpse burning? Public rampages, assaults, and kidnapping? That's the rest of her life. Easy. If Quahog had anything resembling a functioning justice system, Lois Griffin would be appearing in exactly one setting for the rest of the show: a prison visitation room. What makes all of this so wild is how the show presents her. Stick around, hit subscribe, and tell me in the comments which Lois moment you think would get her the longest sentence. I might break that one down in its own video.